Welcome back to this chapter, and today we are going to learn about what is push gateway. In this chapter we will talk about something different. Now what is push gateway? I have already explained you in my architecture diagram, but let's start again here. As of now we have installed the node exporter which is responsible for nodes, right? If we have dedicated hardware or we are using VMware or VM anything, so it node exporter will capture all the CPU, memory, disk and other stuff only for node itself, right? And we have not talked about for any application that are working inside that VM or hardware. So it get the data from here with the help of node exporter, and then it forward it to TSDB, time series database, and then from the Prometheus server web GUI we can check all the metrics, right? This is what we know. Now there is another issue that there are some jobs which are running every 5 minutes and it pull the data, or maybe there is some backup are running. We need to check whether that backup is successful, completed or it's failed. For that reason we need a push gateway. In this scenario we are installing one VM, and inside this VM we created the push gateway. It's a binary that are offered by Prometheus. Now what it's do, we just forward all the data to the push gateway. Now push gateway, our Prometheus server will pull the data. Remember one thing, it will ask in the question, in the interview question also, that push gateway Prometheus server will pull the data. But in push gateway, it the short-lived jobs or other VMs or other end users forward or push the data to the push gateway. From push gateway, we get pull the data. Okay, I hope it is clear now. And this is for application, or maybe it is also used for node exporter where due to some firewall issues we cannot pull the data. For that reason we can also use for push gateway. It's up to us where we can use. Okay, now once we receive the data we push all the alerts to the alert manager, and from the alert manager we forward the data to PagerDuty, email or third party tool like webhooks server or other. Okay, and here we Prometheus we execute the prompt QL expression and fetch the data. Same thing we can use Grafana. Here I'm using Grafana because in Prometheus we have some limitation. We will use Grafana, but small tasks we can achieve with the help of Prometheus. But in Grafana we will have the dashboard, and also we can develop our own API server because it is using prompt QL working on HTTP. Okay. So now I hope you it's understand that now we are going to learn or talk about push gateway. So let's start here. And this push gateway I'm going to install on my worker node 2. And then in Prometheus, which is running on my master 1 node, I will configure and it will pull the metrics from here, from worker node 2 or push gateway. So let's start with theory part. When to use the push gateway? As I said that as per Prometheus, it is recommended to use pull mechanism. But in some scenario like short jobs which we want to monitor, for that reason we are using push gateway. Otherwise we should not use push gateway. Push gateway services help us to provide a push based method for sending metrics to cases that need such a method. As I said that where it is used only there we are using push gateway, otherwise we should not use. Thus we can say that push gateway is an intermediate service which allow you to push cannot be scrapped. Where we cannot scrap means pull the data, that is called scrap. So where we cannot scrap, there we are using push gateway. There are several pitfalls when blindly using the push gateway. Obviously inside of Prometheus usual pull metrics collection, there are some pitfalls. Disadvantage of using push gateway: when monitoring multiple instances through a single push gateway, the push gateway become a failover and potential bottleneck. If that push gateway VM goes down, or if there is any issue with that binary of push gateway, we will lose all the monitoring, right? So we should avoid push gateway. You lose Prometheus automatic instance health monitoring via the up matrix generated on the push gateway. Never forget series push to it, and it will expose them to Prometheus forever. Series are manually deleted by the push gateway API server. But it says that there is a one matrix that is called up. I showed you in my previous lesson that we can use up metric and see that whether my application is running or not. That we can, if we are using push gateway, then this matrix will be not available here. Push gateway, never forget series pushed to it. It means that it series all the old data it will push to the Prometheus server, and we need to manually delete the old data manually. Okay, this is what via push gateway API server. So this is a manual task. So for that reason, we should not use push gateway, but yes, we should know how to use this. Altern Alternative strategy it would be an inbound firewall or net is preventing you pulling metrics from targets, considering moving the Prometheus server behind the network barrier as well. It says that if my end user application are running behind the firewall and I'm running my Prometheus in front of firewall, then this is not the wise idea. So we should run our Prometheus server in the backend or where the network, same network of my end users. It is generally recommended running Prometheus server on the same network as the monitoring instance. This is what I said. Otherwise, consider push procs, which allow Prometheus to travel a firewall or net. There is another binary offered by Prometheus. So Prometheus built each and everything for you. It's up to you how you can use Prometheus. So this is the reason Prometheus is super popular in the market nowadays. And there is some instructing exporters instead of node exporter. We have another exporters like nginx exporter, ha proxy exporter. So Prometheus exporter allow you to collect metrics from wide variety of system applications so they can scrap by the Prometheus server. There are a number of libraries and server which help in exporting existing metrics from the third party system from the Prometheus server as Prometheus server. The third is this is useful for case where it is not feasible to instrument a given system with Prometheus metrics directly. For example, HA proxy or Linux system state. So this is what it says that avoid using push gateway and you can use exporter, different type of exporters. If it's not possible, then obviously we have to install the push gateway, right? So for that reason, so let's learn how we can install this push gateway and how we can collect the data. The first thing is that first we will going to download push gateway binary from the official documentation. Obviously, this is the URL. I will show you in my couple of minutes. And these binaries are available. This binary is available for Linux, Windows, and Mac OS. The second thing is that we will extract the package that we downloaded and then create the services, dedicated users, and then install the push gateway. In the third step, we will going to configure our Prometheus server, how and giving the IP address of our push gateway so that it can go and pull the metrics. I believe that last one is for lab for push gateway. So let's proceed with the lab, and it will be not time consuming. It will be very completed very fast here. So let me open my browser here. This is my Prometheus server which is running fine here. As I said, if I execute up command, I should see three. One is for Prometheus, one is for my master VM, and the second one is my worker node 1. And now I need to, this is my master VM where we have installed the Prometheus. Now I need to log in into my worker node 2 where I will log in it. Okay, now I have already logged in into my worker node 2 here, and this is my GitHub page. If you're not following me, then you need to log in into GitHub page and slash Anish Rana 2001. Then you need to click on Prometheus repository, and after that for this lab you need to click on push gateway. I will upload the this PPT on this folder also. Once we complete all the steps, then I will upload, don't worry. Click here. We will install the push gateway on worker node 2 here. How to install the push gateway? First we are going to create a user and group for push gateway. We don't need to execute use the sudo command, but yes, if you want. We are running server lab, so I'm disabling the firewall. If you are in production environment, don't disable it. Just allow the port number of push gateway. I will show you in my couple of more minutes. It is not running and I'm stopped and disabled it. Okay. Create a directory. Directory is already there. That's great. Let me check if it's something inside this directory or not. Nothing. Now let me open in another tab here. Now I'm in Prometheus.io. This is the official page of Prometheus, and slash download you will see all the package here. I need to click on push gateway, and this is my Linux server here. So I need to use Linux this thing. So copy link 1.9.0, and here I'm using 1.9.0. Same thing. So I can copy here wget and right click. That's it. Let me show you here. Now it is downloading here. And after that I need to untar the file. Let me copy here. Let me untar here. After that, as per my lab, go to inside this directory. Obviously, when I untar, one file will be there. Let me show you one directory. It is created here. As you can see, this is the directory. I'm going inside. Copy the files. Let me copy this push gateway binary file to USR local bin so that I don't need to use the full path here. Otherwise, let me show you here. If I need to execute this push gateway, then I have to use slash data push gateway and then push gateway. This command I need to execute here. Okay. And if I use push gateway, there is nothing. Now go to this directory here and copy this. And now if I push gateway, it's autocomplete. This is the reason I'm copy here USR local bin directory. Now giving the permission, obviously we created the users and group. So let me give the permission to this binary. Chown is the command. Now we are going to create the service for push gateway so that we can stop and check the status of push gateway services. And in this service, we are saying that mention that execute stat USR local bin gateway, and it works on 1991. Prometheus work on 1990 and push gateway is work on 1991. And node exporter works on 9100 port number. Template. This is my temp metrics.store file. 1 minute persistent interval 1 minute. All these steps are managing here. Okay, so let me copy the service file here and paste it over here. Now we can start and enable the push gateway services here. Let me enable the service first. If my VM restarted, so it will start automatically. This is the benefit of enabling the service. I started. Verify the service is running and it is serving the metrics. How we can check? We can use systemctl status gateway. It says active and running. It means that this is running fine. If I press Q, it's come here. So now we can also check if the metric is working fine. As I said that 1991 and this is my local host. It says if I see all these output, it means that my push gateway is working fine. I can check the machine IP address here. As of now, I'm using this IP address. My VM IP address is 1.33. This is what I am highlighting here. Now I need to log in into Prometheus server and configure Prometheus to scrap metrics from push gateway. So edit this file. This file you will observe on master node. This is the file here. Now what it says, under the scrap config section, add a scrap configuration for push gateway. Be sure to set owner label equal to true. I just copy here and job name is push gateway. You can use whatever you want and owner label equal to true. static config. This is my static config. I copied here. At the end, if I here press insert, all the indentation are good. Save the file and check the Prometheus config syntax. It is always necessary whenever we add anything or modify or delete anything from the Prometheus configuration file. We should always check the syntax. It says successful. That is good. Now we can restart the service. It should be good that we can use GitHub. It will be fast, and use this expression browser to verify. You can see the push gateway metrics in the Prometheus. It's a target. You can also use target here. This is my target. If you click on status and then click on target, now you see 9091 metrics, and the metrics name is push gateway. Show less, show less, and if I click here show more, now you can see my push gateway here. After that, we install the push gateway here. Now follow the document here. We can also check directly if you want. 9090, the same page it will be open. Okay. After that, I can also log in into 9090 or push up, and these I can use here. This is what it says here, graph. After it, I can use up metrics. Obviously, we can use up metrics here. Now I can see my push gateway is up or not. This is what I mentioned in my theoretical part, that if we are not using Prometheus, then we will miss this up metrics for the short-lived VMs. Okay, now push gateway info build. This is what I can use. Now execute this. It says everything here: head, branch, blah blah, Linux, go Linux. This is the IP address of my push gateway. Everything I see here. Okay. How to push the data to push gateways so that Prometheus will scrape the data. With the help of Bash or Python script, we can push the data to the push gateway. For the I can use here Bash. It says key value in matrix web 2, and we have defined the labels to see at the end. So now we can execute this command. This command is echo web app1. This is my variable name, key value, or you can say that this is my matrix name, and the value of this one is 0. Web app equal to 0. Let me show you here. And this command I need to execute obviously on push gateway. I executed this command. This is my key, and this is my matrix name, and this is my value. And how we can insert? This is the insert here. Matrix, job, and web app. Web app is my label. Sorry, job name is web app1. Now I can see, if I search web app1 in my Prometheus matrix, I should see the value equal to 0 here. Web app, and the job is web app. So this is my label I have added here, and the value is 1. Same thing we can add here. The second thing we can add web app 2. Let me show you here this web app 2. It should not be present here by default. We need to create it, but let me show you here. It says empty query result. Now I'm going to copy this command here, but it's used here. Let me show you. Web app 2 is my matrix name, and the value is this one. Now this time we are using job web app 2 instance, and this CPU equal to 0. All these are labels. Let me show you. It is easy to understand when we see the output, right? Sometime. Now, as you can see here, that matrix name is web app 2. Let me maximize here. CPU equal to 0. This is my label. Instance is my another sub label, and job is my another label. So we can also add the labels here. Web app 2 instance is this one, and job is this one. This is the way we can use. And the third one we can also execute here. This is my CPU 0 and this is my CPU 1. This is my app 2. Again, I'm using the same. In this command, what we are doing here, we are using the same matrix name, but inside this label, we have changed the label CPU 0, CPU 1. So in a same matrix, we can add multiple values. Like we have single matrix, we will have multiple values. The same thing we can use here for different labels. We can use single matrix with different labels, and those labels having a different values. It is possible, right? This is what we had seen in our previous chapter. We can also use the bash scripting here. Let me use this bash for you. Now I can see temperature data center Delhi web server 1 is 21 and DB web server is 20. Obviously both are in same data center, so temperature should be same, but for the comparison purpose I modified the value 20 and 21. Obviously it is high, it should be low, less, right? 4 or 5 temperature. Please comment me what's your temperature of your data center if you watch this video. Okay, temperature, I see two temperatures are here, 20 and 21. This is how you can add, or maybe you can generate one script, and that script take the value and push to the push gateway. Okay, I don't have any another VM, so for that reason I'm executing all these command here. Otherwise you will have the different VMs, then you can use this command to forward the request to the server, right? Okay, and how we can use here hyphen data binary, and I'm using this 1991 and matrix. Okay, open the Prometheus GUI, and here we have already checked everything here. So this is how we can use push gateway in Prometheus server. I hope you like this video, and if you have any question, do let me know in the comment section, and after that I will try my best to answer you. Sometimes people ask very good questions that I am also not aware about that, so I don't reply to them. Sorry for that. And next, I can see that next topic is my defining recording rules. In this lecture, we will going to define the rules, how we can create the rules so that we can send the alert to our alert managers. Obviously, once we establish all the monitoring, we don't want to see all the metrics, right? We want to use these metrics if something happened. If my memory is more than 80%, then it should generate the alarm and notify to end users or my L1 team so that they can send the ticket to L2 or sometime L3 team, or sometime they need to engage vendor, or sometime they need to work by themselves, right? So this is what in the next video we will going to learn. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon. Bye bye guys and namaste.